this conference has a long history. The first StatPhys Kolkata conference, that is StatPhys Kolkata 1, had taken place almost 30 years back, and since then it is being organized systematically every few years. So for those of you who are not familiar with India so much, Kolkata is a city to the eastern part of India, and this city has a large number of research institutes and universities, and a sizable community here is working in the field of statistical physics. So it is this community which has been organizing this event systematically for the past 30 years almost. And it is actually a very successful series of conferences, and many people like me, we had attended this conference sometime back in the past during our PhD or postdoc days. So this 11th conference in this series, this one is happening in the online mode, first time, because of the ongoing pandemic that is going on. And because people who are attending this event from different time zones, as a result, we had to work with a very limited time window. So we were not able to actually use the morning session. For example, it would have been very early for some people. So this time window, we understand that this session timings may not be ideal for everybody. For some people, it may be too early. Some sessions can be too late for some people. We apologize for that. This time, this conference is being organized by SN Bose National Center for Basic Sciences, Kolkata, and Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, IISER, Kolkata. We got institutional support from these two places, and moreover, in our organizing committee, we also have members from other institutes in Kolkata, other 3 institutes. So actually in this conference, people from 5 different institutes in Kolkata have come together to organize this event. And we have also received active encouragement from previous organizers of this series of conferences. So let me welcome you all once more to this meeting, and we wish you a very enjoyable and stimulating time ahead. Now I would like to request our director, Professor Tanushree Shahadas, who is the director of SN Bose Center, to say a few words. So over to you, Tanushree.
Thank you very much, Shakuntala. Warm welcome to all the participants to this virtual meeting. Those who have not been to Kolkata, this would have been a wonderful opportunity, but the pandemic kind of prevented us from enjoying all the good things other than the science. Science is, of course, one excuse that we meet, but there are other things that city could have offered. But I do hope next time the situation will be better and we will be able to welcome you physically in this city. As Shakuntala already mentioned, this is basically the Stat Physics community of the city Kolkata who organizes this conference. And the very first one in this series, which happened 30 years ago in 1992, I was actually one of the participants in that conference, which happened in the Goal Park in the Ramakrishna Mission building. And I still remember many of the participants today, especially Professor Deepak Dhar was one of the participants there, and this is probably the first time I met him. And the conference had many distinguished speakers like Stauffer and Stanley, and we were greatly enriched by their speeches. And I remember even contributing one article in the proceeding that was published in that event. So I have really wonderful memories of the very first conference of this series. And I'm absolutely sure that this one, which is the 11th of this series, is going to be as exciting as it was in the first meeting. I already find that there are 2 special sessions, one by Professor Parisi, the Nobel Prize winner, and another by Professor Deepak Dhar, the Boltzmann Medal winner. And I find also the topics covered a very wide range, starting from the active matter to non-equilibrium statistical mechanics to random matrix theory. Almost all frontier areas of the statistical physics has been covered. And I really congratulate the organizers for this great job, for, bringing together not only a galaxy of speakers covering many different areas of statistical physics, beating the challenge of the time zone, as was mentioned by Shakuntala. It's indeed a challenge, internet connectivity apart from the time zone thing. So with all that, I think this conference is going to be a great success, as is already evident from the very distinguished speaker list, very attractive program. And I wish all the best for the success of this conference. Thank you very much. Shakuntala, over to you.
Thank you very much, Tanushree, for opening remarks. Now I would like to request Professor Saurabh Pal, Director of IISER Kolkata, to say a few words.
Yeah, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me for this wonderful symposium. I'm unfortunately outside Kolkata right now in another conference where is a physical meeting is going on. I just wish that we could meet physically, and I think the time has come where probably we should be able to meet physically, completely physical, or at least hybrid meetings instead of fully online. But I'm very happy that in the online, there are a lot of advantages which you are able to kind of leverage in this meeting. I think the statistical physics, as Professor Tanushree mentioned, this is not the first time that this conference is taking place. There have been conferences in this series. And this time, I'm very happy that IISER Kolkata has joined hands with SN Bose National Center to organize this conference. Statistical physics, of course, has become very important. And it has been a very important subject, of course, for our physics. But of late, there are so many ways of looking at the statistical physics, particularly from more microscopic levels, the increase in the computational breadth that has also helped the subject. And I think I'm sure much of this will be discussed in this meeting. I'm very happy, of course, to welcome, as Professor Tanushree said, the Nobel laureate will be speaking on this statistical physics, very special session. And of course, Professor Deepak Dhar, who has been a great pride of our country, winning the Boltzmann medal. I think I remember long back meeting Professor Deepak Dhar, maybe at TIFR, most likely at TIFR. So I think it's my great pleasure to welcome him as well. I see he's already there in the meeting. I'm very thankful to the SN Bose organizers and IISER organizers, in particular Dr. Mohanty from IISER Kolkata, who has invited me to give these very brief remarks. I thought that I would say, I do not know how many students are participating, but it's very important that the students get engaged. And I see there is a YouTube streaming also, where a lot of people will be listening to some of the good lectures that will take place in this statistical physics conference. At IISER Kolkata also, we are trying to grow the statistical physics as a discipline in conjunction with, of course, the very interdisciplinary thoughts of science itself, not just physics. And today, statistical physics, statistical mechanics in general has marched physics, chemistry, biology in a very seamless manner. I think all of you know that biologists are using a lot of statistical mechanics today in their work. Chemists and physicists were always working. So I think it's a great conference. It's a great topic to bring together diverse areas of faculty, scientists, and of course to have very special sessions of eminent people who will be speaking here would be a great privilege to all of us. With this, I think I would again welcome all the participants. I see quite a few are there in the Google Meet, and I'm sure there are many more participants who are listening to the YouTube. And Professor Tanushree, of course, Tanushree is a good friend of ours, and I'm very happy that she has agreed to do this with SI Kolkata. The SNVOS, of course, is a very well-known institution in physics. So it has been our great privilege that the two of these institutions of high repute in the city of Kolkata have come together to organize this series of StatPhys. I wish this conference great success, and I'm sure with the in keeping with the changing paradigms of the statistical physics, several new topics of interdisciplinary nature will be highlighted and discussed and presented in this particular conference. I wish the conference great success, and with this, I think I will request the organizers to take it forward for the technical talks. Thank you very much for inviting me once again.
Thank you, Professor Pal, for this very nice address. Now our scientific session will start at 2 p.m. and I would like to request all the speakers of that session to taste their talk if they want, slide sharing, etc., whether everything is working fine. And that session will be conducted by Shashi Srivastava. He will be the session chair. So Shashi, it's over to you now.
Hi. Yeah. Okay. So I guess Satyada is already here, and Professor Gur, Professor Thomas Gur, have you joined?
Shashi, can you turn your video? Sorry, can you just turn your camera towards you?
Oh, actually,
Maybe
I'm in a meeting room, so maybe.
Yeah, you can sit in the next chair to the next or something.
Yeah, sure.
It just looks like a blank room. Yeah, maybe the next.
Maybe I think the time is still not there since you said 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Any better?
Okay. Yeah, you're visible. Yeah, you can go even a little further if you can, if it is possible. Yeah.
Yeah, fine, no issue. Just 1 second.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Shatta. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good to see you. Of course,
It's a pity. I mean, as you mentioned, the StatPhys Kolkata, of course, is a great conference. I mean, as we have been, I mean, I was also there in the 1992 as a student, of course.
Yes, right.
And the great thing was, I mean, apart from the science, was also the food in this conference, which I'm, badly missing.
I hope we'll be able to compensate